Rusame reader, Crow Song! And today I will be reading to you from Stars and Moonflowers in Our Garden by RainbowStar_772. That's me! Now on to Chapter 7, Crows and Worries. Russia found himself lightly flustered by the obsidian black crow cawing. The bird kept calling America father or dad, and him papa. Knowing the bird considered him family was fine, he didn't mind. But it was very flustering when the crow was referring to him as a second parent, especially since the other parent was someone he found himself fond of. It was flustering to have a crow just go and decide that he's now a second parent. America was also very flustered. His face was bright red. He was speaking in a language Russia couldn't understand. It was odd, but the language was pretty. He could tell it wasn't gibberish, as there were things that he repeated. He just couldn't understand, which was fine. He could ask to learn later. After a good while, the crow cawed one last time before flying away. America got up, face still bright red, and grabbed a bucket. He then poured cold water in it. He then dunked his head in the bucket. After a couple seconds, he pulled his head out and dried his hair and face. He seemed to have calmed down. Sorry, I just really wasn't expecting that. Samuel has never done that before, America said, sounding nervous. Russia pulled his Ushanka down by its ear flaps. No, it's fine, Russia said, trying to calm himself down. That was just very flustering. The door opened from behind Russia, causing America to snap his attention to the door. I feel like I'm interrupting something, someone mumbled, taking a step away from the door. No, sorry, Mexico. Samuel just chose to be particularly peculiar, America mumbled, drying his hair. The bird that calls me Papa, Russia mumbled, hiding his face in his hat. Oh my god, that's funny as hell, Mexico wheezed, taking a couple steps back into the room. America soon hung the towel in its original place and walked over to the person. Hush! America whisper yelled at the person. It sounded like he was getting flustered. His professionalism seemed to have left him. Russia slowly lifted his Ushanka away from his eyes to see what was happening. He'd managed to calm himself and got the blush to leave his cheeks. He didn't recognize the person nor their voice, but he recognized their uniform. They were part of the General Castle Guard. All right, were you on Italy watch or was someone else? Because if you weren't, why are you here? And who is? America asked, seeming to have regained his composure. Nah, Brazil is watching him today, and I'm here to drag you to deal with a magic mishap. That's not even my area of expertise! Get Japan for that! America yelped out as his wrist was grabbed. You're no fun, but seriously, we think we have a concussion here. Not enough of us are around to get them all the way to the medical wing. A concussion? What the heck were you doing? America asked, confused and concerned. Someone decided to test out some magic their sibling was doing, and everyone is collateral damage. Got it. America said, rolling his eyes. He then whistled, calling the crow back. Samuel cawed at him and looked up at him. Go get your pan. Magical incident at Training Ground B, Mexico said. Training Ground B, America finished, sending the crow off. Sorry about this, Russia. I have to go help with this. America apologized. It's fine. I'll see you again soon, Russia said, realizing it sounded more like a question. It was, as this whole situation was confusing. America nodded anxiously and smiled at him. I'll see you later, he said, waving to Russia before he ran out of the room. Mexico was out seconds after. This left Russia in America's office, confused as to what he should do next. After silently contemplating what he should do for a few moments, he settled on heading to the library. He guessed he could spend a few hours there reading, or he could bug his dad about what America had asked. He decided that he'd bug his father about what America had asked him to do. So he hummed to himself, happily walking over to his dad's office. It wasn't far from the medical wing, and was down a floor. It was close, so it didn't take him long to get there. He decided against knocking on the door and just snuck up behind his father. Papa! Russia yelled, hugging his father, coming up from behind him. Я пришел себе я Америка. The Russian roughly translates to, Dad, I come with a message from America. Ah, Russia! Какое счета? His dad startled, turning to face Russia. The Russian roughly translates to, Ah, Russia, what the hell? Я пришел сегодня из Америка. Russia repeated, more calmly this time. Again, the Russian roughly translates to, I come with a message from America. Хорошо. Что это? His dad asked, relaxing himself a bit. The Russian roughly translates to, okay, what is it?
Он хочет, чтобы вы зашли в его офис позже. Говорит, что ему нужно передать несколько отчетов.
Russia said happily.
Но, наверное, не сегодня и не завтра его позвали.
He added. The Russian roughly translates to, he wants you to go to his office later. Says he has a few reports to hand over. But probably not today or tomorrow. He was called to help with a magical incident, and he's going to be out of his office tomorrow. Хорошо. His dad asked with a hum. That roughly translates to, all right, anything else?
Ой, верно, он хотел, чтобы я сказал тебе. Оставь его и его гей-панику в покое.
Russia said, quickly remembering. The Russian roughly translates to, oh, right, he wanted me to tell you to leave him and his gay panic alone. None of right, his dad said with a laugh. The Russian roughly translates to, yeah, not happening.
Он сказал, что вы, вероятно, не будете слушать.
Russia said, smiling a little. The Russian roughly translates to, he said you probably wouldn't listen. After that conversation was over, Russia walked back to the library and picked up a new book. He started reading, finding it hard to focus on the actual plot of the book. He found himself worried for America, who was dealing with who knows what at Training Ground B. After a while of trying and failing to focus on the book he picked up, Soon enough, it was time for dinner. It went as it usually did, though Russia couldn't bring himself to eat much of his food, mainly worried about America. His dad definitely noticed and asked, but after not getting an answer, decided not to press on the matter. After dinner, Russia went up to his room and sat in front of the window. He just watched as the shadows grew longer. Eventually, he saw the gardener and walked over to the chamomile flowers below his window. He checked them over before pulling something out of a messenger bag. Then he put whatever it was under the chamomile flowers. He watched as they walked off, processing what they'd done. A smile spread across his face as he realized that he'd gotten a response. He hopped out of his chair and walked over to his door. He carefully opened the door as quietly as he could. He did his best to keep his footsteps as quiet as possible as he ran off to get the response. He looked out to make sure no one was watching as he went over the chamomile flowers. He then carefully and gently got the letter out of the flowers, checking to make sure it was for him. On the back, he saw it said, "From Aku to Nix," which brought a smile to his face. He tucked the letter in his pocket and ran into the castle and up to his room. He quietly closed the door to his room as he entered. He sat back at his desk and pulled the letter from his pocket. He opened it and carefully unfolded it. He smoothed out the letter and started reading. "Dear Neeks, a name that means night? Really? Adorable. Well, my name is America, but since you're using a code name, I feel I should give you one to refer to me by, if you like. Call me Aku. Aku is a moon god, if you're at all curious. Don't think I didn't see what you lightly crossed out, you cheeky you. I'll be responding to that question, as you did keep your own response to it pretty visible. My favorite color is a silvery blue, whitish color. But maroon and golden yellow are pretty too. Roses are my favorite flower, whether they be yellow, red, white, or any other color. I also have 3 siblings, 2 brothers and a sister. Kind of funny how we have the same amount of siblings. But the sisters and brothers are flipped. I prefer he/him pronouns as well. I used to have long hair, but people kept calling me a little girl, so I got it cut. I, much like you, prefer the night. It's so beautiful. The daylight is harsh, but my job as a healer requires that I must be ready to assist at any time. I actually can stay up to see the night, as courtesy of a friend of mine. I no longer require sleep. But I still sleep 'cause I like dreams. Don't worry, it's nothing too crazy. She just made a potion that has a rather permanent effect of removing need for sleep. My favorite season is spring, as it brings with it new and beautiful life. My biggest hobby has to be gardening, though I only do it at night. I love to do art as well. My preferred medium is photography, but watercolor is a close second. I don't have a favorite food, but if it's made with love, it's an instant hit with me. I'm very, very, very gay. If I see you and think you're cute, you might kill me. I have a cat named Bean. He's a little bastard. I love him, though. And the girl, her name is Argentina. She thinks she can fix me. She's homophobic and wants to marry me. I'm gay as fuck, and have been telling her no. She tried to kiss me last night, and actually did. That's why I elbowed her in the stomach and ran off. But you sound cool, so I'd like to meet you if you ever feel up to it. But, please don't try to kill me by being adorable. Or hot. My gay ass would die on spot. Also, if I give you a picture of Bean, can I see Natalie? Sincerely, America. Aku. Russia found himself smiling at that. Learning more about the person who attended to the flowers that night was nice, and knowing that it was America made him feel more fond of the small healer. He frowned a bit as he found out more about the girl. He already didn't like her, but now he disliked her even more. He decided that he'd write a letter response later. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time. And I will see you tomorrow!